Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic, host of Bachelor Nation News. Oh, boy, the fight has spilled into the streets. Blake Horstmann slams Nick Viall for hypocrisy. Oh boy, if I sound too jovial with this, it's not that I'm super excited to be covering such elementary drama. It's just that we've had 2+ months in the off season, and now the season starts, and the biggest videos are Katie Thurston, Nick Viall, Blake Horstmann feuds. By the way, if Blake wasn't with Giannina, I'd say, hey, Blake and Katie should date. They could have like a power couple relationship happening there, but he's happily with Giannina from his show All-Star Shore, which is genius. He went on a show, All-Star Shore, and in that show, they are dubbing it in Brazil and Mexico and the UK, because it's like a collaboration of different Jersey Shore, Geordie Shore, Acapulco Shore, Tanzania, whatever. They're all over the place, right? So as a DJ, he's going to have a huge... Are we familiar with the BRIC countries, right? Brazil, Russia, India, China, and what's the K? Is there a K? Kazakhstan. That's it. Anyway, the point being, he's getting exposed to these huge audiences outside of Bachelor Nation. As I've noticed with Dave Neal's show, there is such a big world out there outside of Bachelor Nation, and it's hard for influencers within the niche of Bachelor Nation to break out. It's hard for them to become bigger than the show because their whole audience just wants tea from the show, which is why I created a separate account. Most of my followers on the Dave Neal Show don't even know we do Bachelor. I feel like I'm living two separate lives. I'm like, this is like Mrs. Doubtfire. Like, hello! Anyway, so Blake's responded to hypocrisy from Nick Viall. Nick Viall responded to Katie Thurston on a TikTok where she said, she did a TikTok live, and in that she was asked, does Nick hate you? And she said, I've blocked Nick. I haven't thought about Nick. See you at the top. Peace out, Nick. And Natalie comes to Nick's defense, and they released this podcast today. I'll show you the very end of it. I already covered it. We already had a 30-minute video, so go watch that. Trust me, if you want to follow this part of the story, go back to 2 videos ago. Go on, go do it, and watch that conversation, because it's essentially Nick and Natalie, plus their 2 producers and their guest, 4 women and 1 guy. Did I get it right? Nick, Natalie, 2 producers and guests. So 5 people. Pretty much all having one side of a story of how Katie's too messy with her tea, this, that, and the other. And I just thought, being the noble steed that I am, that it'd be nice to share a little bit more of an opinion. Like, Nick, come on. You're pretty cynical. You called her out for several different things. You've implied different things here. Like, let's just be honest. You've built a brand that's sort of steeped in cynicism, which is what it is. And he's good at it. Nick's good at what he does. He's got a good audience, loyal audience. He's bought a home in Southern California, in this Mediterranean, beautiful land of Southern California, based off of his opinions and his platform. That's impressive. That's good on him. But he's also got to understand that he's going to ruffle feathers and people aren't going to like him. And Katie, I would say this. From everything that I've read, about 90 to 95% of commenters from Reddit, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok are siding with Katie Thurston on this one. And now that includes Blake Moynes. Here's what Blake said. Excuse me. Blake said, this has to be a joke, right? So Nick and Natalie exposed Katie's DMs. Katie sent Nick a text message saying, I'm over Greg Grippo, I'm with Blake Moynes or whatever. And she said basically like, it was never going to be Greg. And so Natalie thought by exposing this text message, they were going to call Katie out. And my thought being, Katie, got scorned and, Greg Grippo left her. So she was probably with Blake at the time and probably thought it would be, whether she was convincing herself or trying to convince others, she was saying, hey, it was never going to be Greg. It could have been Greg. All right, we're all caught up. So Natalie goes on this rant. She's not really involved in the drama surrounding Katie and Nick other than she's Nick's significant other, not Sigma Omega. Is that a sorority? Sigma Omega? Sego. So Blake goes, this has to be a joke, right? This man, Nick, has talked stuff about me for 4 years because he can't get over, even though he tells everyone to get over everything, my text release from Bachelor in Paradise for an actual big deal. Then he releases text for something as stupid and benign as this. Biggest hypocrite in the world. My God.
Oh my God.
All right. So we will cover a little bit of that story, but Blake's not letting this go. Blake's not letting it go. Now, if you don't remember Bachelor in Paradise, Blake was accused of some atrocious things. He was accused of lying to get into somebody's pants and sort of soft Me Too'd. And I don't use that term lightly. He was, to a degree, that everyone hated him. They treated him very poorly based off of choice editing that was done on the show. His only redemption was pulling a nuclear code, which, to be honest, probably the smartest move he's ever made in his career to fight that narrative, to say, look, I got text messages. Kaylin came after me. I told her not to show up. She still took an Uber. I didn't consent to her even coming. We saw those text messages, and then they probably hooked up, whatever, but he was like, you're trouble, this, that, and the other. So when she exposed him on the show, he was like, you got to be kidding me. We had a consensual thing, Anyway, we've made enough videos about that. So now Blake's like, you got to be kidding me. This guy has called me out for sharing those text messages. So let's see if we have the... Where is it? Here it is. Bachelor's Nick claims Blake Horstmann's release of Kaylin's text was premeditated. Blake shared screenshots of the text between himself and Kaylin on his Instagram story during Bachelor in Paradise's 2-night premiere last week. Another member of Bachelor Nation is weighing in on the Bachelor in Paradise drama between Blake and Kaylin. Former Bachelor Nick Viall, bad boy, addressed the situation on a recent episode of the podcast Viall Files, alleging Blake's release of his text messages with Kaylin was premeditated. Viall, 38, now 41, explained that he had learned some information from members of Bachelor Nation at Ashley I and Jared's wedding over the weekend. I know by okay, hold on. Nick, in his podcast today, said he has a policy on his show where he's not going to talk about other members of Bachelor Nation unless they release information. So unless they go on the record of saying something, he's not going to discuss it. Now we know, maybe the policy has changed since then, but now we know back in 2019, that is the opposite of the case. I know by talking to a lot of people over the weekend that Blake admitted, I know that she's going to look bad. I know that he threatened people about releasing these text messages for months in anticipation of this coming up, which makes it all that more premeditated. I mean, look, I wouldn't call it premeditated to be planning in case you get an edit that mischaracterizes what went down. Release the text! If Blake were to look bad in the text messages, he would have been the one to lose there. But instead, he was vindicated. I am you know that song, 1999 or whatever it was. Then he, is that how it goes? Then he ended up deleting it when it got, that's I'm real Hot Topic Dave today. Got that chain wallet and Jinko jeans ready to go, that old denim bed skirt. Then he ended up deleting it when it got really nasty, but it's not like he didn't realize. It's this whole idea, I didn't think this would affect her the way it did. He knew. He admitted to it. There's text out there of him saying this. It's almost like Blake had to protect himself, and in doing so, it made Kaylin look really, really bad. And people probably slut-shamed her and did all these things, but it was almost like a necessary evil for him to vindicate himself as an innocent party to the situation. So then Nick doubles down. It was premeditated. He knew it. By the way, is this photo distorted? Nick looks so different here. This must be a distorted photo. They all kind of look like their faces are smushed here. It was premeditated. It makes it all that much more nasty. Viall explained that his issue with the release of the text was not Blake tried to show up to Paradise and pretend to be someone he's not. He wanted people to keep thinking he was, say, more former Bachelor Ben Higgins than some other Fboy. All right, so he calls him an Fboy back then. I just Googled my name, Dave Neal, Blake Horstmann, Nick Viall, to see the recent videos that I've made regarding their tryst. It's like, just bang and get over it, you two. You know what I mean? But seriously, I would say with regards to this storyline, I think Blake does a better job of minding his own business. But boy, how good am I at my thumbnails? He got exposed as an F-boy. Blake fights back. Nick and Blake at war. So here's Blake, fighting back. You know what? Let's just play a few clips here. I'm gonna play a few clips of the ongoing feud, and then we'll play some more clips from Nick. So Nick again says public service announcement. This in itself isn't that bad. Although it really does sort of endorse this pairing of Blake and Brendan in this, and there are different scenarios. On paper, they do look kind of similar, that they had to talk their way out of situations, but Blake clearly was not with anyone, even though he had sort of slung his spade earlier that week in Coachella. So
steal a lot of shit out there.
We already showed you this. Keep my name out of your mouth to Nick. So we'll
keep my
going
name.
Here.
Wait, was this before? This was in August 20. So that's like a funny Will Smith. Keep my wife's name out your mouth.
Maddie Pruitt.
It's almost like I had a premonition here.
But I don't think was ever offered. She's just not.
So this is Nick having a sort of different vibe than Blake. They're on different sides of the thing here. Nick is saying that Maddie, Hannah Ann Kelly, and Victoria Fuller probably just weren't even offered Bachelor in Paradise, whereas Blake was saying they were offered it, they didn't want it, and there's that thought by the dissenters from Bachelor Nation that no one wants to go on Bachelor in Paradise because of the way they treat people.
I think Maddie Pruitt would probably agree, and she's not meant for Paradise.
Yeah.
It works to go on The Bachelor
But
and say, I don't kiss guys, I don't date guys, I don't like... That works on The Bachelor. It does not work in Paradise.
You know, I was thinking, I was like, I don't know, it's crazy. Like the top, I mean, if we just go social media, guys, the top,
Showed you that.
she said no. Hannah Ann.
How all the girls said no. If that doesn't scream Nick saying whatever the producers tell him to say. So obviously Bachelor Nation Scoop is on the anti-Nick train.
All right, so then anyway, so Blake says, I can always count on you, Nick, to never miss a chance to talk trash about me for no reason. So, okay, let's move it on to our next video here. Start at the 20, right here. Nick and Blake at war with each other. I'm going to tell you what Nick said and Blake's response to this. It's almost like, have you ever seen a melee in wrestling? It's when there's a fight happening in the ring and then other people start fighting outside the ring, and then next thing you know, someone's got a chair and they're beating up the announcer, and it's just bloodbath. I feel like Bachelor Nation is just bloodbath. I literally just have a list of topics I'm trying to get to today, and then they just keep outdoing each other. I can't make it all in time. I need to clone myself. All right, let's get into this story. We'll cover it. And by the way, if you want some non-Bachelor content, we released the Dave Neal Show. We started it yesterday. Boy, this is the day I released the Dave Neal Show. Since I released the Dave Neal Show, it's made about $45,000 and 46,000 subs. So how great has that been? You know, I made the Dave Neal Show to make non-Bachelor content for the day that Bachelor goes away, and who knew it was going to just take off the way it did. So always appreciate all the supporters. Let's go to the next clip.
She's gonna be a different person, but from what I remember, she was obviously beautiful and a lot of fun to be around. She's the life of the party.
A lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah, she's
all
like
right. So there it is. So he didn't say he dated her. He said he essentially was saying they hooked up. And when he did, okay, I have to admit that had nothing to do with the video. I just wanted to make a video of me drinking with two other Daves. It's a party. All right, 3 minutes and 40 seconds here. This is good. Let's get to it. I think we're gonna hear how Nick's conflating of what actually was said is, I don't want to call it problematic. It's his opinion, but it just goes to show we're making something out of nothing.
You can't handle the truth.
Clayton 0 for 3, not 0 for 2.
Yeah.
Gabby went on the Talking It Out podcast with Mike and Brian and talked about her relationships with Dean and Blake.
I suspect that, I don't know, did they take that out? But Blake needs to stop
saying that they dated.
You know, he tried to get us to think that there was something more with him and Becca Kufrin.
Mm-hmm.
So with that story, with Blake and Becca Kufrin, they were spotted during a birthday party together. Of course, before Blake was with Thomas, Becca was with Thomas. Newsflash, Blake's with Thomas. Hey, why not? They're cute. Cute couple. Thomas can be, with you at the DJ booth or whatever. So we'll never know. I mean, Blake, unless Blake continues to get called out for being... I think we're crushing it. Are we not crushing it? Can you hit the like button? Let's go! Becca or something. It's almost like people are forcing his hand to share tweets and text messages again, as it was when he was sort of soft Me Too'd. On Bachelor in Paradise, he was accused of emotionally... All right, we got that. He had to kind of pull that, nope this. These are pretty strong words.
Now he's with Giannina from Love is Blind. Wild.
What a weird pairing.
Come on. With Blake, it's like...
Wow. So he goes, well, who knows with Blake? So he's sowing doubt and essentially calling Blake, a lot. If you've watched All-Star Shore, Blake and Giannina are adorable together. And age-appropriate. Here.
He walks down the street and says hi to a girl, and he goes on his podcast and says they're dating, and then they're all, and these women are like, apparently this.
I saw.
I like exaggeration when as a comedic effect. Who knows with Blake? He's walking down the street. He makes eye contact with a barista, gives her a $2 tip, and he says they're dating. I get it. The problem is it's built off of a faulty premise that Blake never.
Fake news.
He never overly stated any of these relationships. This guy's got good points.
Instagram though, there were like side-by-side photos of like the cabinets in the back that show that they're together.
Yeah, and I guess she was like no, and they had a drink and went Dutch or something.
Gabby.
No, Becca. They're dating or hooking up. But we just know
about
Giannina.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of Gabby, she was saying there was never even like a drink paid for. Like he never even bought her a drink. So she was like, we didn't date. He's making it seem a lot more serious than it was.
I don't know why he does that. I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows?
So Nick goes, I don't know why he does that. Pretty much in the fault being that you're responding to something that didn't really actually happen. By the way, I'm putting this video in the best of 2022 playlist. I feel like we're onto something. Look, I'll be telling you, if you watch my channel and these videos don't make you feel a certain way, we ain't compatible because I'm not changing. This is it, folks. Dare I call it fake news? I think I have to.
Fake
All right,
news.
so here's what
it's fake news.
Have to say. And boy, people like to come to the comment section. Nick, okay, that's not all they come to. All right, they come to watch my videos. Okay, anyway, so we have a third one. Hold on, last one. Last one, folks. Video 3 at the 9:40 mark. Let's just have a listen.
Of Blake from his time.
Yes, I was wearing the same shirt.
I mean,
because it's a great question by Nick, because what he's trying to say is do you remember something differently than what actually happened? Oh, was this from the same day? Oh, sorry. It was from the same day. Never mind.
If I could sum it up in 3 words.
Just like what you think the average audience thinks.
Stagecoach.
So this kind of feels like when you have a sleepover and you invite 2 people that don't like each other and you hide one in the closet and you go, what do you think of Tiffany? Tiffany's a whore. Wow, Tiffany, come out of the closet. Ah, no, we love you, Tiffany. I would never say whore, but that's what, these are, whatever. I did, I guess. So that's what it is. What do you think about Blake? And she goes, stagecoach.
I don't know. I mean,
So Blake spent the last several years fighting his edit and showing his following that he's a decent guy, that he's not a toxic guy. By the way, if anyone... They're on the I just lost my place. Oh, dang it. Where was I? The 9:40 mark? Anyway, it's not important. The point is, if anyone can co-host with Dave Neal, it's Dave Neal. And by the way, this is the greatest evidence that I'm living in a simulation and I'm probably in a padded room somewhere just doing breaking news to a lamppost. But either way, we're having fun in the process. Do you remember something differently than what actually happened? Do you remember?
If I could sum it up in 3
All right, stagecoach. And let's go to 1342 to wrap up this soiree. Right here. Use that against him?
Feels like when he watched his season, he saw things that he thought to himself, I didn't say it like that. That's out of context.
Let's jump a little bit.
Oh, short shelf lives and social media has allowed us some of us to extend that, use the platforms we get from the show and make our own thing.
Yeah.
Right? And so,
which is also what he's doing as well with DJing.
Exactly. So the guy's having some success DJing. So why not focus on that?
Having some success DJing. So the idea of why not focus on DJing, I think Nick would agree that by having these conversations that Blake's having, he's helping his DJ career. It's like the wrestler has to hype up then a couple of comments in our Patreon where we're recording this is Holly said yes, or saying his little DJ thing. How's that DJ thing going? Of course, I have a bit about this when, because it was a little, he's having some success. He's having a lot of success. Blake Horstmann's transformation from reality star to headlining DJ. And again, I've never met Blake Horstmann. I've got nothing but appreciation for him to essentially spin a career and a lifestyle from Bachelor Nation to a greater audience. Look at this. Listen, if this doesn't hype you up right now to try to get out there and do something with your life, I don't know what will. There he is. He's hanging out. He's got the mic stand in his hand and he's saying clap to the damn music. Fire these smoke machines. So he's doing his thing. He's out there. They're frolicking. They're excited. It's Stagecoach, baby. So now, Stagecoach. The guy has built a career just since the pandemic using his following for a way that's bigger than, and again, I'm not saying I'm above it. I commodify the tea and the gossip and all that, but good on him. So just credit where it's due. The guy's, and now with All-Star Shore, he's going to have a following in Brazil and Acapulco. He's going to be spring break DJ disco, whatever. So anyway, here's my clip of when someone gave me a bad intro. They were like, tell us a credit for yourself. And I was like, just say I was on HBO. And then they messed it up. But this is my response to saying your DJ thing. Have a listen.
Our first comedian, he said something about HBO. You guys don't even care. But give a warm welcome to Dave Neal.
host. Look at here. That was the worst intro I've gotten all week. Thank you so much. She sounds like my mom telling my aunts what I do for a career. He's doing something at a comedy thing on the West Coast. Does anyone have a job where your mom calls it a thing still? Just dabbling in, anyone doing a thing out there? Just dabbling. It's never something respectful, you know? I was like, you're still dabbling in that pediatric pulmonology thing? What I can't pronounce.
All right, so there it
Still
is.
doing
Okay.
the comedy thing. They call it a thing because they just hope you'll quit and use your business career.
Okay, so that's it. All right, feeling good. Okay, so you can go follow me on Instagram at DNeals. Always be promoting. So there he is, and his article that he's, living his dreams, but very telling that he's not going down without a fight. He's not, Blake's not willing, to accept the shit talking that's being done about him. And look, like I've said all along, Nick's allowed to have his opinions. And the audience can decide who they want to support. Nick's got his following of the people that love his tea and his access and all that. And there's going to be an audience that follows Blake. Maybe they'll be within Bachelor Nation, maybe outside of it. But good on Blake for getting out there and finding love with Giannina. I wanted to show Katie Thurston real quick her response to this saga. Gosh, my recap videos of this saga are actually going to be longer than the actual latest episode. So let's go to her, and this is what she said. She said, my recommendation for those feeling extra triggered by me today. Chill. Have a little bit of a, what is that, blueberry lemonade edible. Oh yeah, 5 milligrams. That'll set you up. 20 servings. Have a nice little indica gummy. Indica is short for Indicouch, which is where you sink to when 10 milligrams hits you. All right, and then finally, someone sent me this. The last 30 seconds of Nick's podcast today, a little ominous.
Next week on the recap, Blake Moynes, maybe he'll have some thoughts on his dearly departed ex.
She's not dead.
R.I.P.
Okay.
It's the end.
Dearly departed.
Bye.
Bye.
So there they are. By the way, Karen said, did I say Blake Moynes versus Blake Horstmann at the beginning of this video? Probably. I probably messed them up. I'm not good at what I do, but that's all I've got for you guys. On behalf of the other Dave and the other Dave, I've been Dave, and you can find me on Instagram at DNeals. I'll be in Santa Clarita tonight for a stand-up comedy show at Popak Brewery. It's a free show. You can come have a beer with us. Patreon.com/Dave Neal if you want real tea. I got a lot of tea over there for the private membership only community. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye, everybody. I'm vindicated.